To have you on the program again. Thanks for joining us. How concerned should we be about these declarations coming out of Pyongyang?
Well, it's a perpetual story. We have seen a number of crises this year, early this year, when the weather is changing and naval clashes between North and South Korea turned violent, and also just last month we witnessed a major escalation of tensions. And given that the relationship between North and South Korea has been non-existent, the dialogue is very rare, the hostilities of the Korean War, which have ended, periodically continue, and they exacerbated by the presence of US troops on the Korean Peninsula, potentially may escalate the tensions to the degree where it will be very difficult to stop the hostilities, and the hot phase of the Korean War may return. But during the last 70 years, we saw on and off resumption of negotiations between Pyongyang and Seoul, and this is what happened just 2 weeks ago. So that's why we're all concerned that the messages which come out of North Korea are really designed to thwart and derail the potential relaxation of tensions. So the prospects of family reunions, the four members of families who haven't seen each other in North and South Korea for 5-6 decades are now in jeopardy. Potentially they will be called off if tensions continue to escalate. And economic cooperation, which used to be quite vital between North and South Korea, is also put on hold. So these views which potentially destabilize the situation on the Korean Peninsula badly affect common people who want to trade, people who want to meet their relatives.
Yeah, I'm just disappointed to hear that that's a possibility, given that despite these sort of increased hostilities, it looked like that those reunions may have gone ahead, so we'll watch that. Leonard, what is the significance of the potential firing of a long-range rocket, and the particular date that they are warning that they may do that?
Well, it's not the first time North Korea plans to launch a rocket. Just yesterday they announced through the Korean Central News Agency that the launch is imminent. And the first successful launch of the intercontinental ballistic missile was in December 2012, so it's almost 3 years has gone since then, and I believe that North Korean scientists and nuclear industrial complex needs another launch of the rocket where they can test the capability of delivering a warhead. So far, North Korea hasn't been successful in developing a miniaturized nuclear device, which means they do have a dirty nuclear bomb. They can detonate it, but they can't deliver it. So North Korea obviously needs some excuse to launch a rocket. Of course, they will be telling the world and their own citizens that the primary reason to launch the rocket is peaceful exploration, space exploration. North Koreans claim that.
I fell asleep in Jimmy's bed about 2 a.m. Woke up at 3 a.m. I heard Jimmy going out, I guess.
That's all to you guys. I appreciate you being here. Your mum has brought everyone together just to talk to you from the bottom of their hearts. I hope this is going to open your eyes because right now, I don't know. Go to you first. Tess, what do you say?
Well, I'm the bigger sperm region then.
I want to know if I own this place. Well, that's right.
Grandma said it's a doctor find a treasure chest of family secrets.
Where's the young man? Take that much money from. Oh, yes. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find it.
I think you are. This Tuesday, 7:30 on SBS.
Academy Award-winning documentary director Alex Gibson. It's a 20th century Part 1 of Sinatra, All or Nothing at All, starts Sunday, 8:45 on SBS.
You can't make him go. And we should go. Turnbull has confirmed he's sticking with the government's policies on climate change and gay marriage. During his first question time as Prime Minister, Mr Turnbull also paid tribute to his predecessor Tony Abbott. To the winner, the spoils of the sworn in with his family by his side, like Lucy, his daughter, grandson, and father. The one-time Attorney General and Commonwealth barrister, Tom Hughes. And he took his position as
next year, the leader could won by the party that is able to embrace the future.
For Tony Abbott, it was the worst of days.
I am proud of what the Abbott government has achieved.
Job creation, removal of labels against taxes and free trade agreements were significant achievements.
We stayed focused despite the unending. Of course, the government wasn't perfect.
It had been a swift political turn, but it was possible. His deputy informed him that he had lost the support of the party. I didn't ask him to stand aside. I gave him the information and continued the options available to him, and he decided to call a public meeting and have a ballot. This leadership battle has left scars. Defeated, Tony Abbott did not attend questions. His support leader Eric waits to see what Australia's leadership will be for them. For Prime Minister Turnbull, this first task is to try to unite the vote. In Parliament, both sides of politics pay tribute to Mr Abbott.
Our nation, our parliament, our government, our parties, the coalition, owe Tony Abbott an enormous debt of gratitude. I say to him, to Margie, to his remarkable daughters, that we wish you well. I have had it all, and I am proud of my service. My love for this country is as strong as ever, and may God bless this great. Thank you.
And with that, it was not. SBS World News. The European migrant crisis has claimed more lives with the sinking of a boat off Turkey that was apparently heading to Greece. 22 people, including 4 children, drowned as their 20-metre boat capsized in the Aegean Sea. The Coast Guard rescued more than 200 people from the stricken vessel. It happened less than 2 kilometres from where Syrian toddler Ayaan Kurdi washed up 2 weeks ago, sparking an international outcry of crisis. Hungary has declared a state of emergency in 2 southern counties along the border with Serbia. Hundreds of people, mostly Syrians, are tonight on the Serbian side of the border, unable to cross into Hungary. This follows Hungary's introduction of tough new rules aimed at stopping the flow of people. Meanwhile, the head of the UN's refugee agency has told the EU Parliament that Europe must continue to help the Syrians.
And Europe welcoming Syrians is something that helps to defeat the Islamic State. The Europe rejecting Syrians, especially from their countries, is something that helps to defeat. So you should be aware.
North Korea has threatened to use nuclear weapons against the United States, announcing that its main nuclear facility is now in full operation. The Pyongyang reactor was shut down in 2007, but in the past few years, North Korea has been vowing to restore it. The reactor has been the source of plutonium for the country's nuclear weapons program. The development comes a day after Pyongyang warned that it's ready to launch satellites on rockets banned by the West. The state of emergency has been declared in California after wildfires forced 23,000 people to flee their homes in the state's north. An elderly woman died after being trapped in fire and around 400 fires destroyed. It's biggest loss of civil lives in the area this season. Officials say the spread of fire is unprecedented because of dry vegetation left by 4 years of drought. And that is the world this Tuesday. You can get all those stories online and read them on the website.
It's a little bit rubbery, and obviously there's scope for negotiation at Paris. Or from Julie Bishop's point of view, having a Prime Minister back in Canberra who would understand the context where she has to operate in Paris would be very helpful.
Indeed. Derek, really good to get your insights.
That's it.
All right, that's now the latest news from the world of business and finances. I'll see you next time.
Start at home tonight, and business groups have welcomed the new Prime Minister's call for a more innovative economy. But they say it's now up to Malcolm Turnbull and his government to deliver a plausible reform agenda. Neil Aldrich reports.
A political coup born of Australia's economic malaise.
The Australia of the future has to be a nation that is agile, that is innovative, that is creative. We cannot be defensive to our future view of ourselves.
With annual growth at just 2% and the unemployment rate above 6%, Malcolm Turnbull is staking his credentials on giving the economy the spark it needs.
Part of the reason for that want of confidence was the growing sense that was made among the Australian business community at the capacity of the Australian political system to confront the challenges that we have.
While business leaders are not expecting a radical change in direction, they are hoping Malcolm Turnbull takes a more consultative approach.
What business wants is certainly now what business wants in the new policy.
Business investment has plummeted and productivity is falling. Investors are also worried about the prospect of rising interest rates in the United States and softer demand from China.
We don't believe the economy is in quite the dire straits that some of the official data makes out, but things will be catch up there.
Apart from the economy, now we also need to deal with reviews of the tax and financial systems and cost-sharing policies. Small business is also urging the UK to take a tougher stand against the big end down.
At the moment, it's sluggish, and then because of the domination, 3 or 4 big players who continue to dominate.
A busy agenda and no time to waste. Neil Aldrich, ABC News.
Well, Malcolm Turnbull says there's never been a more exciting time to be in Australia, but given the tepid economy, sharing that excitement may be easier said than done. Andrew Robertson has been looking at the numbers.
Malcolm Turnbull has grabbed the leadership at a time when the future could be described as uncertain rather than exciting. Just a few short years ago, the Australian economy looked invincible as the resources boom delivered record national income. But those days are gone. Australia is the country most heavily leveraged to China's growth story, and China is slowing. The big question is how much and what will it mean? Economic growth in the June quarter collapsed to just 0.2%, and some are already predicting a recession. At 2%, Australia's annual growth rate is just over half what it was 3 years ago. By contrast, Greece, the world's economic basket case, is now growing 4 times faster than Australia. To add insult to injury, productivity is falling in key sectors like mining, manufacturing and construction. That's contributing to unemployment stuck above 6%. Jobs are still being created. Joe Hockey says 300,000 since the last election. 17,500 of those new jobs were last month, but it hasn't been enough to drive the jobless rate down. Compare that to the US, where the unemployment rate has almost halved in the last 5 years. As the Australian economy stutters, household debt is ballooning, $1.6 trillion, or 100% of GDP. Throw in government borrowing of $400 billion, and Australia's debts have doubled in the last 10 years. That's fine when things are booming, but with the global economic outlook bleaker than the domestic economy, that indebtedness has the potential to be a major problem.